Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today. It's myself, Chris Williams, licensed marriage and family therapist. I also have another licensed marriage and family therapist, what we call LMFTs, JJ
right.
West. How you doing, JJ?
LMFT represent.
Yes,
I'm doing well,
the
Chris.
alphabet.
Yes, all of those letters behind our names.
Yeah.
And the clinical psychologist, the good doctor, Dr. Jill Hubbard. How you doing today, Jill?
I'm doing well.
Good. Hey, Jill. Curious, what's on your mind today?
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about something that makes people a little bit unwell. And that is, we get a lot of calls about people asking questions about bipolar disorder.
Yes.
And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit and some things that you can recognize. And bipolar disorder is something that is diagnosed over time. It's usually not the first go-to diagnosis. And what people usually notice first is depression. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times it's misdiagnosed as clinical depression because one of the features of it is a major depressive disorder. Or episode. And so, and with major depression, you have to have a period of 2 weeks where it interferes with normal functioning of life. And so that's where we go, oh, that person's really depressed, right? It's not just feeling blue and kind of up and down. It's really where it really interrupts their functioning. I remember 10 years ago, I was in France with some girlfriends. There were 5 of us. And we're sitting on the shore of the Seine River in Paris. And it is so picturesque. And one of our friends says, you know, nothing really excites me anymore. Nothing really makes me happy. Yeah, this is nice, but I could take it or leave it. And so we were in France for 10 days with somebody in a major depressive episode.
Yeah.
And we had our first experience of that. Later, this person was diagnosed as bipolar. So some of the things to recognize about bipolar is that there are usually multiple episodes before the diagnosis happens. One of the things is that first depressive episode before the age of 20. Often the onset is early, like age 15 to 16, into the early 20s, and often diagnosed before the age of 40 because you've collected enough data by then. I remember when New Life, when we did hospital programs, and in the early days when I was doing hospital work, there was a doctor in there. Every patient was bipolar. I'm like, that's just her favorite diagnosis. Well, no, people with bipolar get hospitalized frequently.
Yeah.
So another feature is that there's mania or hypomania episodes. So this is at least a week of elevated, expansive mood that might seem, oh, this person's just upbeat and having a good time, but the mania is distinct. And so, again, also a family history of bipolar. Antidepressants do not work and can make it worse.
Yeah.
Is another sign. And that when a person goes on a mood stabilizer, they experience immediate relief, almost immediate.
Yeah.
Not in every case, but that's a sure sign. So I hear the music and I have lots more to talk about. This is a big topic.
And I think it's important to see the manic episode, symptoms. That could be, grandiose thinking. It could be, hyperactivity.
Right.
A lot of
there's periods of that as well.
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things is that these are things that if caught well, professional help can help really well. We also have a national network of therapists that can help guide you through some of these difficult moments. And you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to connect with one of them. We'll be back right after this.
Restore gave me strength. It gave me more belief in my faith. I met up with a group of women that are going through things that they had no control over.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our lives. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 1st through the 3rd. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I've had a great experience at Restore.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today. Myself, Chris Williams, JJ West, Dr. Jill Hubbard, and we're also going to have join us Ann from Morgan Hill, California, listening online. Ann, how's it going today?
Hi. It's a great honor talking to you guys.
Well, it's a great honor to have you.
I'm calling for my daughter and son-in-law about my granddaughter. She's 11 years old in the 6th grade, and they're wondering how to handle a certain situation. To kind of to summarize, at recess one day, she saw some 5th graders that were playing around the trees and actually climbing the tree, and they were wearing masks and tails. And they told her that they were animals. I don't know if you've heard of this before. It's called therian.
Therian? Did I get it with a TH?
Yeah.
Okay.
Therian. Yeah, and these are people that identify as animals, even foods. Don't ask me. So anyway, my granddaughter wanted to do this and went home and told her mom and dad that she wanted to wear a tail and a mask to school, which is permitted at this certain school. They have no dress code. And they did not want to let her do that, and they were trying to explain to her that God made her a girl. And my granddaughter kept saying, well, I want to identify as an animal. And she's a very bright girl. I picture her as a lawyer at times. So now, this has been like for a couple weeks now, and she's still after them to do it. And then she gets invited to a party where they're all going to be wearing the masks and the tails. And they have looked in her diary, and she says, my parents aren't letting me express myself. I really think I'm an animal. And she goes, I believe in Jesus still, but I'm an animal. And a few years ago, she told them she was gay, and because some of her friends said they were, and then that passed. And then she wanted to dress up with the punk jewelry and things, and they actually let her do it, and it lasted a couple days. So they're just wondering, how can they relate to this and help her while still really, loving and accepting her?
Yeah, absolutely.
My daughter's extremely upset.
Yeah. Well, we've lost the art of play and imagination. Everything is concretized, right? If you want to dress up, I remember when my daughter was in school and she would talk about the pony girls because they played pony at recess.
Yeah.
But they were playing. And it wasn't something that they really believed they could become.
They understood the
difference.
The distinction between imagination and reality.
And that's an important conversation, I think, to have. It's fun. Like dressing up and doing costumes. That's so fun. And taking on characteristics is really fun. But it's not something that we can actually
over-identify with.
Become. And your granddaughter, you said she's very bright. It sounds like she's going through partly a normal process of trying to figure out kind of who she is and where she fits in. And so much about this is about acceptance and belonging, wanting to belong. There's a group that's inviting her to join in, but to be part of the group, she has to be an animal. So it's that convincing of oneself. But it is interesting that she has tried on different personas and they haven't stuck, which is a good thing. It's like during the days when people would change their hair color every week, right? And then, then that phase passed, right? Now, I think because of how society concretizes it, it's a little more serious today because the messages that they're getting are partly delusional, that you can actually become this.
Yes.
And so having more honest conversations, your daughter with her, and making that distinction, that we don't mind if you play or if you want to be part of a party. However, we want you to fully be aware of the distinction here. And what are you thinking about that? Yes, there's, being a cat would be a great life. God didn't make you a cat.
Yeah.
Right? And so having those kinds of conversations, but she's already shown that she tries these things on and then she moves on. This may be another one of those issues, but it would need to be monitored.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So rather than focusing,
go
ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, I just want to clarify. So talk to her about playing and imagining and having fun versus you're not truly this animal.
Well, you want to get her understanding. What does she believe about this? And does that she's hearing what her friends are saying? Does she believe that to be true? Does she really?
She does.
Okay.
This is what my daughter's worried about.
Okay.
Because she'll say no. What she'll say is, respectfully, that's your opinion. She'll say that phrase, that you don't think I should do this, but I know that this is my identity.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if she truly 1,000% believes that, or if she's just saying it. I don't. She's very oppositional. She has a history of really being sensitive, and
Yeah, my guess would be, and of course I never met your granddaughter, so I'm not trying to diagnose her in absentia here, but my guess would be that deep down she does know that she's not a cat, but she does have some real questions about her identity, as lots of preteens and teenagers have. We have these questions about, who am I? What makes me tick? What makes me special? What groups do I fit into? And so I would encourage your daughter and son-in-law, rather than focus so much energy on convincing their daughter that she's not an animal.
Right.
Instead, turn the attention to, tell me what you mean when you say you identify as X. What's going on? What are you feeling inside of you? Tell me more about who it is how do you see yourself, right? Asking those questions, and what groups do you belong to, and understand that there's a lot of fluidity to this, especially at that age, right? There's a lot of fluidity to who we are. We're just we're developing that. And so we don't need to get into, oh gosh, she's going to surely take this to the extreme, and she's going to need a litter box in her room, and she's going to need, just eat cat food and all of that. Very unlikely that's going to happen, right? So instead, really invite her into conversation around what does she experience, and what is she feeling, and what does she mean by some of the phrases and words that she's saying, rather than assigning meaning to them based on my own experience.
That's great. Well, and what do you like about this group of friends? Tell me about your new friends. Tell me what you like. Tell me,
Jill, I think
them.
that's really important, because a lot of times what we are looking for deep inside of all of us, and it doesn't exist in the same way, or I say we have these need buckets, and not all of our buckets are the same size. Every single one of us has a need to belong.
Yes. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So piggybacking off that, but her need to belong may be a bigger bucket. And what you're saying with she tends to be oppositional, she's really bright, she's very smart, she might be a highly sensitive person.
And one that has a harder time fitting in.
Exactly.
Right?
Which makes her more vulnerable to the world around her. But also what's very difficult about that is it's hard to find comfort in your own skin. And so that's a person that's going to try a lot of other things on to try to find what it would be like to be comfortable in my own skin. And to not be comfortable in your own skin is a really torturous experience.
And she's 11.
Yes.
She's in the phase of not feeling comfortable in one's own skin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me of a story. At that age, I was a cult leader for about 30 minutes, maybe 45. I was in Scouts, and we were on this like 50-mile canoe trip, camp out thing, and I had brought a bunch of snacks, and I had a few friends who wanted to share in the snacks, and so I developed this set of rules that they all had to follow in order to participate in the snack eating. And several of them did, and we had our own language, and it was very bizarre. And it, like I said, it lasted maybe it was like an hour or two, and then we all got tired of it because it was silly, right? Chances are that all of these experiments that she's engaged in will die out, and they'll be replaced by other things, and eventually there'll be some stuff that sticks that's more concrete. I didn't choose to be a cult leader the rest of my life. I chose instead to spend time helping others. Right? It's but so I wouldn't worry too much about a brief part of her life becoming permanent at this age.
And because she's oppositional, that's why, like, not focusing so much on whatever it is that she's wanting to try out, but more relationally and about her feelings of fitting in.
I love that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's been puzzling my daughter and son-in-law is that they get made fun of at school, this group. In fact, someone tried to spit on them, and they're you think you're animals, you're crazy. And yet my granddaughter is still willing to do this.
Well, that speaks to her oppositional side.
Yeah.
That speaks to that part of her, that inner rebel inside of her that says, I'll show you.
You're not going to tell me what to do.
The more you push against, I'll push in.
Okay.
And that goes back to that actually, the concerning thing there is that could reinforce the identity, and so, or reinforce her tendency towards the identity of trying something else on until something fits. And so with all of that said, what I want to be able to, I want to send you a copy of How We Love Our Kids. Because that is a book that helps us understand kind of more of the wiring of our kids and then how to connect with them on that deeper emotional level of what's going on the inside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question real quick?
Yeah, we just have a couple minutes here, so go for it.
Okay, so they're all ready to put her in a Christian school with a good dress code, and she's very upset. Is this kind of extreme then on their part?
What do you think, Jill? That's a tough one, right?
That is a tough one.
That's why I punt it right to you, Jill.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I do feel like it's an overcorrection.
Yeah.
I think it's an overcorrection. I think it would be they would have a better result from spending time asking her how she feels different from her peer group or her social group at school than pulling her out and putting her in a situation where she's forced to dress a certain way
and feels really different.
It feels very different. And if she is oppositional, if she can't oppose it on the outside, she will oppose it on the inside. Okay, and so rather than letting her wear a silly outfit to school for a couple weeks or months, instead, internally, she's opposing everything to do with this Christian school and everything to do with my parents' faith that forces me to not let me be who I want to be.
Oh, that makes real sense.
I think it will backfire.
Yes.
That's good input, JJ.
You don't think you don't think counseling that they should just talk to her? It's not time for her to go to a counselor or anything.
And I don't want you to miss the point here. The point is helping her, because counseling could be great if she doesn't see it as a form of control. The truth is we've got to look at this as how do we connect at a deeper level on the internal world of our...
How do we learn to be more comfortable with ourselves?
Yes, with our daughter. And that's going to be a challenge of itself. So we're going to send you a copy of How We Love Our Kids. And it's such a challenge to get into the internal world of our children. I'll tell you what, man, I just driving my son this morning to school, I was trying to get in there and he was having nothing to do with it. So it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes help. And that's what New Life is here for. We're going to be back right after this.
When you give to the New Life Scholarship Fund, you're giving someone hope for a brighter future.
I was kind of in the closet and hid with my struggle. Your donation really made the difference, especially in my situation, because I ended up getting laid off from my job.
At the New Life Intensives, hurting people are able to begin a new path towards healing and freedom that has an effect on all of those around them.
I think the people who support New Life financially are people that I'll never know. I'll never be able to thank them personally for the gift that they gave to us. Their giving saved me, my husband, and our family from being torn apart.
To help hurting people to connect to the help they need, make your gift to the Scholarship Fund at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and specifying scholarships.
Someone called and sponsored me to come this weekend. Whoever that is, just know that you saved a life. Literally, you saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. A institution that is really near and dear to our hearts is the importance of marriage. I oftentimes tell people this, that I can tell you the condition of your life with the condition of your marriage or your primary relationships. There is not an area of life that isn't positively impacted by a healthy marriage. There isn't an area of our life that isn't negatively impacted by an unhealthy marriage. JJ, when people go to the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop, what are they getting?
Well, they're getting a deep look into what are some of the core patterns, not only in your relationship, but also in yourself. Some of the stuff that always comes up, no matter, like we always say, have you noticed in your marriage that no matter where an argument starts, it always ends up in the same place, right? Because we follow these well-worn paths. We have these scripts that we follow, and I know what you're going to say before you say it. You know what I'm going to say before I say it. And a lot of that is coming from our childhood. It's coming from these ways that we learned how to relate in childhood that just show up again and again and again. And so it's learning to identify and unpack that, but also learning new ways of relating. And they're going to learn some tools for how to have healthier conversations around painful subjects. And they're going to get to know other couples that are also going through some of the same challenges that they are, so they don't feel so crazy that they're the only ones going through.
That your issue in your marriage is not unique to you. That's common. Absolutely. Hey, to invest best in your own life, I'm dead serious about this. Invest in your marriage. It would be a gift to your spouse, and it would be a gift to yourself, and very, very clearly it would be a gift for your kids.
Yep.
So go to
Amen.
Go
Amen.
to newlife.com. Intimacy and Marriage. It's going to be in Dallas, October 25th, and there is an early bird special if you register by October 11th. So Intimacy and Marriage, go to newlife.com and click on that. Register today. We love to see you there and love the investment that you're making in your family. We're going to go back to the phones. We're going to go to Wanda in Dallas, Texas, listening on Sirius XM. Wanda, how you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, thanks for calling in and being with us today. What's going on and how can we help?
Well, the first reason I called, I guess at the very beginning of the first show, somebody mentioned something about strip club, and I said, you know what, maybe this is where I can get some guidance. Because I know that my son, because you have the app on your phone, or I do, that I know where he and my sisters are at any time, and we live in separate states, right? So I know that he spends an inordinate amount of time, like say 25 hours on the weekend at this club to play in pool. Okay, so he's playing pool, but he's in a club that is a strip club.
Hold on. Let's check this. I want you to think about the reality of what you just said. 25 hours over a weekend, so over a full day, and he's playing pool that whole time?
I'm sure not.
Okay. I just want to check in with that.
These are intense games of pool, Chris.
How old is your son?
He is 48. I'm sorry. I mean,
that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a mom that is worried, and what I'm calling about is what is my part, and I feel like I want to confront him, but he has a temper similar to his dad, and his dad and I divorced 40 years ago. So the thing is, biblically, what should I do or say when I know he has a temper, but I don't want to go to my grave, and I'm going to cry. Anyway, I don't want to go to my grave thinking I didn't do what a mother should have done, no matter the consequences, whether he got mad at me. So I want to show him the comparison. I said the amount of hours he spends there with his friends, quote, quote, unquote, but what are you doing for God? I mean, he got saved at 9 at a church camp, but really I'm calling because I don't know what I should do or not. Should I just pray?
Well, let me ask you this, Wanda. Does he know that you have that Find My iPhone?
I know.
Does he know that you can track him?
He does.
Okay.
He knows it.
And he's okay with it.
Well, I mean, there's one time I got angry and cut it off. I said, you know what? I am your mother. I know where you are. You don't have to have that thing. You can unhook it or whatever you want to do. I know where you are. I know what you do. So anyway, it's not, he still allows it.
Well, the surest way to have it cut off would be to start telling him where he is and how much time he spends.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
Right? Because that seems a little, he's given you that privilege, and that's a nice privilege to be able to just, check in on loved ones. But if you over-focus on it, he's going to push you out of his life. Now, I know that doesn't address the other problem, but it starts bordering on you being very intrusive and kind of voyeuristic in his life. And this isn't someone in their 20s. He's 48 years old. Right?
Yeah, as a frame of reference, I'm 49.
Yeah.
And it would be, and again, my life is fairly boring, and I'm married, and there's a lot of different circumstances here. And my wife, absolutely, we on all of our phones, we know where each other's at all the time. But if my mom was on there, that would feel very, very different.
Well,
he's not married, never been married.
Oh, okay.
But okay, he's single. He's gullible, so he does anything his friends say. And I try to tell him, explain to him, you're worth being someone's friend without having to pay them. So, I mean, he had this little thing going with one of the strippers for a while, and thousands of dollars went that way, okay? But she showed herself, and she was too young, and she moved on, right?
Okay, yep.
So I see how gullible he is, and I've always seen that. He's always wanted to be married, but never was assured.
Well, Wanda, I'm going to jump in because we got to head to a break here.
Okay.
But we also want to look how gullibility might be going on in the family. And so there might be some more gullible things going on here. But we want to confront reality, but most importantly, we want to help you become the mom to your son that he needs. We'll be back right after this.
I'm addicted to oxycodone. I've been on oxycodone almost 3 years.
Addiction affects millions of people every year.
I've been on it for a long time, and I need to get off.
New Life can connect you with some of the finest Christian inpatient treatment programs in the country that work with people from all backgrounds and beliefs.
First it was for back pain, and I was on it for a long time. And then I currently just had shoulder surgery.
If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction to illegal or prescription drugs, alcohol, or dealing with an eating disorder, it's time to seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers all around the country.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying, so my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you are with us today, and we are talking with Wanda, whose son is involved in some unsavory behavior that she doesn't like. He is 48. He's living his own life, but she is struggling with his behavior. So, JJ,
yeah,
where does Wanda go from here? What?
Yeah, so, I mean, the primary question for me, Wanda, is which came first, the chicken or the egg here? I'm trying to understand whether your involvement in your son's life, who's now 48 years old, is your involvement in his life due to his developmental delays, that he's not able to take care of himself, and so he needs you to watch over where he's going. He needs you to help him not be gullible and fall into these money traps? Or is it the other way around? Has your involvement in his life and your helping him make decisions and taking care of him, has that produced kind of a learned helplessness in him, where at 48 years old, he doesn't recognize that this 20-something-year-old stripper is just using me to get money. He doesn't recognize that his friends are just around because of what they can get from him. He doesn't recognize the unhealthiness of spending 25 hours on a weekend in a strip club / pool hall. And that's what I don't understand. I'm not clear on that. I have a feeling that it may be both, and that there may be that the more you are trying to make sure that he makes good decisions by watching where he's going and talking with him about his decisions is negatively impacting his ability to make those good decisions on his own.
Right.
And so could you pull back and
both.
Go ahead?
I said I would say the answer is both, but I do. I am sort of controlling there, trying to guide him on the right direction, because he has made so many poor decisions. Friends have taken advantage of him. So I am part of it. Yes. But I just want to know about what I should do, right? Just back off and just pray that he'll see what's wrong with this situation. Because I don't, I brought up knowing that if you're not in heaven, where are you? You're in hell burning. I don't want that for my child. I don't want him to be doing something that Satan is leading him.
Right. And Wanda, we never stop being a mother. And when our child hasn't fully launched, even at 48, we feel a strong sense of responsibility. And so you're still trying to make up for what he didn't get. And this is some of his journey that he needs to do. And it's one thing if he comes and says, Mom, I just want your advice on something, right? It's great to be able to use our parents to bounce things off of, but not to oversee our lives so we don't have to be responsible. And so that's where you may have to pull back, and he may make more poor choices. But having less of a safety net will help him see that he has to do something. And you may even have to say to him, I need to let you know that I may have done you a disservice in not allowing you to stand on your own. I've always been there to kind of catch you and to guide you. And I'm concerned that someday when I'm gone, then what, right? And so I'm going to be stepping back a little bit more. So if you feel that from me, this is why I'm doing it, so that you actually can grow.
Yeah. And Wanda, I want to maybe challenge or encourage you with something, is that what would your life be like if you shut off, if you were the one who shut off the tracking app on the phone?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I know where he'll be. It's not like I don't know my son. It wouldn't. I backed off. I mean, hey, it was even worse. I mean, I was watching his account because I'm tied to his account because we have it's the same thing, and I would always be giving him money, right? Yes, I was his safety net out everything.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's super helpful, Wanda. So there's something that, again, I think, Jill, you were really speaking to, and that is the thing in parents, but especially moms,
especially
that
moms,
need their kids to be okay.
Yep,
and
we do.
It is torturous.
It is.
When they're not, to their own decision-making and demise, for sure. And that work to let them go, that work to let them figure this out. One of my favorite lines, that is not an easy line, but it's clarifying. And that is when we're connected with someone who's not figuring it out and they're an adult, it's I'm out of ideas on how you can fix your life. Right? So Wanda, you need to be out of ideas on how your son can live his life better. Because there's a subtle thing that we as parents do, and I think we all, to a greater or lesser degree, fall into this trap, is that we're on the scene almost like God in the beginning. We're taking care of all the needs, we're developing, we're doing, we're loving. We don't know what unconditional love is until we have our own children. And so we take on this almost godlike place, but we never get ourselves off the throne.
Correct.
Right. So this is about getting yourself off the throne and being like, God, I'm giving him to you. He's yours now.
And Wanda, even separating out the bank accounts.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because some of the best life lessons are having to live with the pain of a bad choice and going, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to send thousands of dollars to a stripper. I don't want to waste my weekend with in these party places and not furthering myself, right? Like there's I can't just rely on mom to take care of things because my bank account's low. It means I'm going to have to say no to some stuff in order to be okay. Those are good life lessons. And so we want to encourage your son being able to experience some of those difficult but not catastrophic life lessons so that he can grow.
Absolutely. Because I was thinking about this, JJ. It's like, what would be the incentive for him to have you track him? Like, why would he be okay with that? And I'm like, oh, he's okay with that because when crisis occurs, it will not be a secret to mom, and mom will bail me out.
Or it may be the price of admission, right? It may be the price of admission.
Yeah.
I have to let mom have this level of involvement in my life in order to count on her when I need rescuing.
Yes. I will,
as opposed to I want to have a healthy relationship with my mom where I'm interested in what's going on with her and she's interested in what's going on with me, and we're growing together, and it's not tied to the bank account and the tracking app.
And we're figuring out together how to do an adult relationship and get out of this parent-child trap.
Right.
Yeah. So Wanda, I think it's key here that that you asked the great proper question. What do I do? And I just want you to know that there's tremendous wisdom in there, because you are not saying, what does my son need to do? You're saying, what do I need to do? Yeah, continue that journey of letting go. Continue the journey of unhooking your well-being from your son's decisions.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And that's going to require giving him to God. That may even require getting into some therapy and looking at, like, hey, are there patterns here that are lingering, maybe even from the marriage, or maybe from, one of the things that can occur to us is that we feel this overwhelming sense of guilt that our children suffered from our decisions.
Yeah.
Well, and Wanda, are you still single?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you guys fulfill a need for each other.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of a partnership where you are each other's significant other. And that can be healthy, but it can morph into unhealthy as well. And so that's some of you having to kind of fire your son from that position. Because in what ways has it held your life back?
Yeah.
And you did ask the question earlier, should you pray? Yes, pray.
Yes.
Pray specifically that God will bring people into your son's life who will speak truth into his life in ways that you right now as the mom can't.
I can't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
that's awesome. Thank you.
Well, Wanda, thank you so much for calling in. We're going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. And that's one of the things that, listen, I have younger children, but my wife and I were having this conversation just the other night of that we know that this season is going to pass.
Oh, yeah. It does, Chris.
Right, Jill. And I'm going to be calling Jill, and Jill's going to be walking.
You have young adult children.
Yes, yeah. But that we're going to be staring at each other, and that it's important that we have a life that is apart from our children, and that they can see that we are engaged in our own well-being and our own caretaking. And so that's what I want to encourage Wanda to do. We're going to send you Take Your Life Back. Wanda, we thank you so much for calling in today. And if there's a way that we can help, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back right after this.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family, or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step towards genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you're with us. You know, we just had a call with Wanda, and we were all just reflecting on how impressed we were with her and how she received our feedback. JJ, you had something to share with that.
Yeah, I was so thankful for how quickly and humbly she accepted our input. She didn't get defensive. She didn't double down on, no, we got to fix my son. Like it showed up, like you said in her question, what can I do? Not what can he do? And she heard us. She received that instruction with what I felt anyway was compassion and joy. And so it was really just a wonderful exchange. And sometimes you're never sure if you're going to share a hard truth how it's going to land, and she received it so well.
Yeah, it was so good. I just keep reminding, hopefully myself first and foremost, that humility is a superpower because of what the gift of humility gives us, and the ability to receive the great things that we need, the healing, the growth that we need. And it's just, Wanda led us very well into that.
And sometimes we know we need to be different. We just don't. We almost need permission.
Yes.
Right?
That's a great word.
To stop trying.
Yes. You have permission to be different, to do something different.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I want to remind our listeners out there that your financial support goes a long ways, and it makes a difference. And a lot of times when we're giving to a ministry, when we're giving to a cause, it's sort of like we can fall into that trap of writing the check or having it deposited from our account and sort of going off into this never land. But I just want to remind us today that we got this testimony from a listener that says this: my life was a hot mess, and being a Christian didn't make it easier. New Life gave me so many practical tools and decision-making advice with a lot of practice of God's grace. I came out on the other side. My parents didn't give me the skills that I needed, so I had no foundation. I'm making sure that the last 2 to 4 kids still under my roof will learn and get the skills and tools that I didn't get. Trying to end my family cycle and generational cycles to do it for them. New Life is helping me do that. That's what we get to do. That's what we get to be a part of. And most importantly, that's what you are giving to. If you want to donate, go to newlife.com, push the donate button, and join us in bringing new skills and skills that we didn't get growing up.
Right. And I think you said earlier, Chris, it's such a gift to our kids when we get the help. We often want to focus on our kids and fixing them. But when we, as a parent, as an adult, say, no, I need to deal with my stuff first.
Yes.
So that it'll trickle down to my kids, and set the example that we need to do our own work.
Absolutely. We have this saying at Renovari Counseling is that, we have a couple of our therapists who are children experts, children specialists, and it's such a gift because I'm not.
Yeah.
And so it's great, but we often get the parents in there as well, and we say to the parents, the best thing that you can do for your child is work on yourself. It is the greatest gift and the greatest parenting skill that you will give them. Yeah. So there's this other thing that happened this last weekend that I got to share with you guys. So this other thing that happened was the Emotional Freedom Intensive.
Yes,
and
tell us.
It is this just remarkable time where people get to be engaged in a safe place, much like Every Man's Battle, much like the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. This one's online, but it's a safe place to reveal your deepest struggles. And one of the people that was attending this last weekend was 90 years old.
I love it.
Right?
I love working with 90-year-olds.
Yes. What leadership that she gave the rest of us. And the leadership she gave the rest of us is, one, it's never too late and don't think you've ever arrived.
Yes.
Right? It's never too late, and don't think you've ever arrived. So when you guys think about a 90-year-old engaging in their personal healing and growth work, what comes to you?
Courage and bravery for still recognizing that they need some help or that they want to still improve their lives.
Yeah.
Right? To leave that legacy. I've had a couple of clients that I've seen through their late 80s into their 90s. And just the amount of insight that they have, the openness at that stage of life, the reflection on what worked well in life and what didn't, and the wanting to be at peace when they go to meet Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like no stone uncovered.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fills me with a sense of hope. There's this, that we keep growing.
Yes. We're never supposed to stop.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. I'm not, in 5 more years, that's it. No more growing, no more healing. You're just stuck there for the rest of your existence. No, there's always room for more growth, more healing, more learning if you'll humble yourself, if you'll muster up that courage to go and put yourself in those places where healing is happening, put yourself in those places where you have to be vulnerable, where you have to be real about your struggles. But man, there's tremendous hope that this healing journey that God has us on doesn't end in this lifetime. Like we get to keep growing, we get to keep changing. I mean, it feels good when we change. It feels good when we experience healing. It feels good when we put to death those broken habits that we've been carrying around for so long.
Absolutely.
Well, and also at each stage of life, there are new concerns and new ways of looking at life.
Yes.
I was thinking about that, Jill. Life doesn't stop.
No.
Because I turned a certain age, right?
Yes.
Things didn't end because I turned a certain age. Yeah.
And so how do you deal with the end of life?
Yeah.
Those are real things. And who can you talk to about that? Because your kids don't want to hear that you're thinking about the end of life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? They're like, no, you're going to live forever, Mom.
Yeah, right. But it also gives me hope for the multi-generational church. That, because I think we have sometimes this caricature of the silver hairs in the congregation and they're just stuck in their ways. No, that's not accurate. Look at this woman who was willing to say, I'm going to work on me. And how powerful is that going to be for the other people in her congregation, wherever she is? Like seeing that and saying, we're going to learn from her, right? Brilliant, beautiful.
I absolutely love it. We have, Jill, you said you think of courage. And we've been talking about change and changing something in our life. We have the Courage to Change online conference coming up October 5th. It's one of our life recovery events. And really, there is so much of life that we're in constant recovery from. We're in the redemptive process until we get to the other side. And what a great reminder of. And New Life is here to help you and come alongside of you and journey with you in that. If there is something in your life that you want to take a look at, there are so many different areas of life that we're going to address in the Courage to Change online conference. I know I'm going to be addressing codependency, how to see it, recognize it, know what it is, and know what to start doing about it. There's going to be other aspects of sexual integrity, both for men and women. The speakers the line of speakers I'm looking at in that this conference is absolutely remarkable. Check it out. Again, we are so glad that you are with us today. What I want to encourage you is one of the ways that you can partner with us is share the program, share the podcast, share the YouTube channel, connect with us in all the ways in which we are available. And until next time, be well. Glad that you're with us.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.